label like that a lot.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Or the indulgent.
Or not a Brad. Yeah. Which one? Which character?
Little from column A, little from column B. Devo, Meredith, sit here with you. Happy Monday. Hope you enjoyed the extra hour's sleep. Okay, so we're going to talk about something that took place Thursday of last week. I was a little, concerned isn't the word, but I am thankful that we're talking about this. Because you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes Thursday of last week is Thursday of last week.
Yeah.
But it did kind of spill into the weekend if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I know in the past I've been very critical of this team. I've been labeled over the top. I've been labeled you don't know what you're talking about. I've been labeled you got to trust the process. Yada, yada, yada. I learned everything I need to know about this team last Thursday. And for those of you who missed this, Leafs are in Boston. We can roll it here. Timothy Liljegren, 37, is cheap-shotted by Brad Marchand. I don't care if there was no penalty called. I don't care if there's no suspension. He's out for at least a couple months. So the Leafs reacted by jumping at least 3 Bruins and fighting them. Just kidding. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. This is not a team with a lot of defensemen. This here is one of the more shocking things I've seen with this team. Not one Leaf said something past the head coach. 63 is in front of the bench last Thursday, daring them to do something. In fact, Jim Montgomery, the Bruins head coach, put Marchand back onto the ice. Why? Because who's going to do anything about it? What Leaf is going to do something about it? Sheldon Keefe's the only one talking. So Saturday, before they played the Sabres, they were asked about it because Friday there was no practice, nothing. The Leafs didn't comment on this. Saturday, Sheldon Keefe, the gentleman you just saw, said, we had a team meeting about sticking up for each other. Team meeting, National Hockey League team meeting for sticking up with each other. I can go further, I'll wait. Devo Brown, what am I missing about the team meeting for sticking up with one?
I mean, that shouldn't have to happen. You're right about that. It shouldn't have to happen. There were players that were chirping Marchand on the bench there in front of Keefe. You see their mouths,
who never plays,
but you see some of the mouths moving. Right? Ryan Reeves should have been on the ice right away. That's a Keefe move. If he's that upset, put your enforcer out there on the next shift.
Tyler Bertuzzi's laughing. Guy on the far left was laughing. The newest guy in the room. One of the newest guys in the room.
Ryan Reeves also said, in the moment, it didn't look like it was a dirty play. When you look back at the replay, you see the slew foot, and it kind of sticks it out, and you notice it there. And, of course, the reputation of the player, who Marchand's known to be a jerk and a little bit dirty, changes everything. I'm not defending the team on that. You need to step up into somebody's face when one of your guys goes down. And if your coach is that upset, do something in the moment.
There are guys on that bench.
Tell your team in the moment, go out there and lay a body on somebody, right? Like that's, so Keefe can be upset and say, hey, we had to talk about it, but you are the coach. Tell them right then. Change it right then. Don't tell me 2 days later that you were upset and that you had to talk to the guys.
What's interesting
you
to
had
me
an opportunity to do it.
You had the meeting, but then you also told us you had the meeting. Like that's also something that you could just have the meeting in general, be like, whoa, what's going on here? We got to stick up for ourselves. But to say it publicly, that sort of elicits this kind of discussion. So perhaps Coach Keefe is trying to be like, hey guys, we don't just need to do this. We need to do this, and everybody needs to know that you need to do this. Which, as a huge Leaf fan, this is disappointing to have some sort of understanding that they're. Does that mean there's not a team that's gelling? Does this mean they're not a team that's literally sticking up for each other? Well, because that's not what the games I see.
No. Look, to your point, though, about it didn't look bad. I don't care if it looked bad, or I don't care if it was a cheap shot or not a cheap shot. You ask questions later. In that situation, it doesn't matter whether it was clean or dirty. Your guy's down, okay? Enough. He's a teammate. I don't care if he wasn't at Mitch Marner's wedding. I don't care about any of that stuff. That guy's wearing the same jersey as you. Someone on the ice has to wake up. Figure it out later. If it's not a cheap shot, Brad Marchand's been cheap shotting guys his whole career. Probably was a cheap shot.
Yeah.
If you see 63 skating away, it's a cheap shot. The meeting to talk about having to stick up for each other is embarrassing and an indictment on the entire organization. This is Brendan Shanahan's team. He wanted 4 guys to make all the money and the other guys scrubs. And right now, there's a huge divide in that room, and you can see it every game. That was the clearest indication. Finally, I would take the captaincy away from John Tavares. He sat there. I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why. It's a drastic move. If you sit there and look at him with that blank stare, and I encourage anyone to go back online and look at what we just ran. He literally, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here with John. You're the captain. Pull the C. I don't see a captain on this team. No captain. You don't have to have a captain in the National Hockey League. It's not a rule. You don't. Plenty of teams have a bunch of assistants, and then they'll figure it out later. This team doesn't have a captain. They got to pull it. I can't. We got to go to Q. Go ahead, Kim. Anytime. The gentleman wearing the C is looking at him like nothing happened. I don't know what's going on in that room. I don't know what's going on that bench. I don't know what's going on in that front office. I don't know what's going on the bus to the hotel, to the airport. I don't know what's happening on the road. These guys do not care about each other. Period. And the wedding shots in the summer, and I'm over it. It's not that important to me. That's important to me. That's important to me, that stuff.
I know we're gonna go. I know we're gonna break.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But like, isn't there something to be said about not reacting? Isn't there something to be said about our captain saying, "Yeah, go on, Marchand. Do your Marchand thing. I'm not going to engage with you that way." Isn't there some win there?
I feel what you're saying on that. There needs to be a reaction. Again, I go back to the coach saying how ticked off he was that nothing really happened. Tell your guys to do something. And if you don't say that, then cool. But would you rather, and Tavares said, by the way, this group is strong. We have a great bond.
Please.
I know, whatever. You can take that for what you want.
I've heard that act from John for years.
You can take that for what you want.
I'm over it.
But what if Matthews is on the ice there and says, okay, yeah, I got to stand up for my guys, and busts up a knuckle and busts up his hand, and now he's out for the rest of the season. Is that what you want from your stars?
I'm not
you're
saying
these guys are getting paid so much.
But I'm not even saying fight.
Who goes in?
Devo, I'm not even saying fight. I'm saying move closer to them. I'm saying
just put your face in their
push.
face. Do something.
I'm saying,
against that.
what are you doing? Like this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that 60-goal scorer has to throw. I'm saying, like Tampa Bay, more times than I can remember, 5 guys jumping. It's a yard sale. There's gloves everywhere, and ask questions later. That's what I'm talking about. And I didn't see that. Boy, was that troubling. Boy, was that troubling.
I did see that interview with Marchand after, and they were saying, "Oh, what was Keith saying to you?" And he was like, "He was just saying hi." And I thought, "Ooh."
No one's scared of the
That's
Leafs.
annoying.
No one respects the
annoying.
Leafs. No one respects the Leafs in this league. No one. They got a major league problem. It's Brendan Shanahan's issue. By the way, Bolts and Leafs tonight live on Sportsnet.
Can't wait.
See what kind of pushback they got there because they had none Saturday against Buffalo.